What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. So today, a couple of headlines came out. Actually, yesterday and a little bit of today, certain things coming out. So just want to brief everybody. So Joe Biden, he likes to use this jab as a way not to pay attention to everything else that's going wrong in the country. So he thinks like jab mandates make people happy. So let me just talk about that, and then people won't pay attention to everything else that's a mess, like, you know, the gas prices being high, inflation, or anything else. So I guess these people really just don't understand their constituents, because why would anybody be happy about being told what to do with their body, whether it's mandates, abortion, whatever, right? People don't get happy about stuff like that. Okay, so anyway, we have from ABC News reporting an hour ago, majority of U.S. workers fall under vaccine mandate on January the 4th. So nearly 100 million U.S. workers will be required to get the COVID vaccine by January 4th, with some workers allowed to test weekly instead, under sweeping federal rules released Thursday by Biden administration that identifies COVID-19 as an occupational hazard. They're so happy to have that COVID-19. The regulations are aimed at healthcare workers, we already know, and businesses with 100 or more employees, covering 2/3 of the nation's workforce. Businesses that don't comply could be fined $14,000 per infraction, and hospitals could lose access to Medicare and Medicaid dollars. It's a part of Joe Biden's aggressive new plan to try quell a pandemic that's overshadowed his presidency and hobbled the economy. At the same time, the January 4th date is a nod to industry groups that insisted that the administration wait until after the holidays to impose mandates in the midst of worker shortage. This is good for the economy, a senior administration official told reporters late Wednesday on the rationale for the plan. Okay, I'm not going to read the whole article because y'all already get the gist of it. Y'all already understand. Y'all already hear what's going on. Just a couple things that they say that is just bananas to me. First, they say that there'll be like people who are allowed to test weekly. All right, so that's not even an option for everybody. You know, they just say that some workers will be allowed to test weekly. So that's some places that are allowing some exemptions to go through. So like in one of my videos in the channel, you'll see it says exemption letter. I don't know if anybody's used that letter that I put there, if it works or not. I'm just saying it's written very well. Somebody try it. People, you know, if you don't have a lawyer to write you one, I think it's written very well, and I think it's a good one that might work. But you know your workforce, you know your workplace. So I'm not forcing anybody to try it, but just to know that it's there. The other thing, what they said, his aggressive new plan to try to quell a pandemic. You cannot stop a virus. You can't. And you certainly can't stop one with a vaccine that allows you to transmit and spread the virus. That is the most insane thing I've ever heard. The way they lied to us, it's not right. It really is. And it's almost infuriating, but I'm keeping my emotions at bay, okay? And then for somebody, but even more, his senior administration told reporters late Wednesday for the plan, they said this is good for the economy. How is it good for the economy? Look at our supply chain. You already know. I'm pretty sure there's some people who wasn't jabbed and they had to get sent home, and that's why we can't unload the docks of all these supplies. If you ever get a chance, check out the supply chain. If you don't know what's going on over there, there's so many supplies just at sea. It's crazy. So you guys are telling people they can't go to work based on a experimental medication, and then you say it's good for the economy. This is not going to go good at all. They won't report on the negativity of it as much because they're going to wait until, I feel like, me personally, this is an assessment. So these are my predictions. All right. They're predictions, but I believe after the holidays, there won't be too much to report on. And then that's when they'll tell you how this was actually bad. This was a bad thing. But I don't know how anybody can't see that this is a bad thing. You're going to lose firefighters, cops, nurses, doctors, cashiers. Imagine people, I'm meeting people who are like working at Walmart who are like, I got to take this jab in order to keep my job. People are already complaining about not getting paid enough already. And then, on top of that, you have to take an experimental medication. It is just absolutely insane. And there's no good that can come out of this. But you guys keep strong, though, because there are protests. Anybody who's protesting this, I'm not telling you what to do, but if you are protesting this, my prayers are out to you. My prayers are out to everybody who's dealing with this situation. And so, and it kills me because what I'm going to say next is, like, I'm just wondering, like, who's even running this this whole operation? Biden says yesterday they asked him about giving the $450,000 to each illegal migrant that was coming in, and he's like, I didn't hear anything about that. That's garbage. You stop schlepping that garbage around. Some, talking like that to Peter Ducey at Fox News, and he's like, you didn't. They saying that's what's going. That's not. Come on, really? That many? And so then the ACLU. So the ACLU is like this organization that talks about free speech or something, but they're not really into free speech as much as they say they are. But they say President Biden may not have been fully briefed about actions of his very own Justice Department as it carefully deliberated and considered the crimes committed against thousands of families separated from their children as an international governmental policy. ACLU Executive Director Anthony D. Romero said in a statement, but if he follows through on what he said, the president is abandoning a core campaign promise to do justice for thousands of separated families. I don't even remember when they promised that, but they probably did. Joe Biden certainly doesn't remember promising that, even if he did. And I'm not saying that about his cognition level, which we can see is declining. He is also the type of person who will promise something and change his mind. He did that in the 70s. He promised to go ahead and go with the busing policies. And then he was like, you know what? Nah, I don't want busing, and I'm going to make sure that we vote against it. And they did vote against it in the 70s. Just like he said in the beginning of the year, we won't mandate vaccines. Vaccines are mandated. That's what he does. But I don't know who's running the operation over there, because those words, that lettering, you know what I'm saying? Like that writing, they put that in the bill. Okay, so the bill didn't go through yet, but I don't know when it does go through, if it'll still be in there. But this is not some make believe, that it's there. So whether it goes through when the bill goes through or not, I don't know. But for him to be like, that's not happening, what are you talking about, is frightening. It really is. All right. So, and then back to, of course, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, everybody's excited because they're receiving the jabs for the kids, and they want to make sure that families are safe. Health experts say that children are at high risk of contracting COVID and spreading it, though they are less likely than older people to die from it. Let's take that sentence and real quick, let's unpack it. Just even that sentence alone, one sentence. Health experts say that children are at high risk of contracting COVID, just like everybody else, just like the jab, just like they still will be when they take the jab, okay? And spreading it still, just like the jab. Though they are less likely to die than older people. Not even just less likely to die, less likely to get severely sick. Less likely to know that they even been exposed to it. Okay? So they have these, I'm not coming at the pharmacies for receiving the vials. I'm talking about health experts, CDC, everybody saying, yeah, I give it to kids. These regulatory agencies have definitely been hijacked by some sort of force unknown. I don't know. I don't want to sound like I'm saying things that sound too animated, but goodness gracious. There is absolutely no benefit to give this to children. I'm going to just keep it all the way real. There isn't. Because if you're doing a benefit risk analysis, there were that many children who, they said like 143 kids in the age range of 5 to 11 had died from COVID. And I'm not even sure if those kids didn't have predisposing factors. I'd have to look at everybody's chart to make sure that that's what they really died from. I'm never going to get my hands on those charts. Not only that, we know that we already know the boys are getting the myocarditis, and we already discussed in my last videos how your body reacts to this shot. Okay, so children's bodies aren't made that much differently than ours. But what they do is they get exposed to COVID, and they build robust antibodies for it, robust memory cells. They're putting out these advertising campaigns where you got the kids being superheroes. I took my shot. I'm a superhero. It's sad. It is. It's sad for me to look at because it's a lie to parents. It is. It is the biggest crime to humanity, I think. I am watching in real time. It absolutely is. There's no benefit that outweighs the risk for this for children. Let's just go out and say it. So, but if you do decide to give this to your child, because I'm not telling anybody what to do with their kid or their own body, please, please, please be aware that some of these pharmacies may not have received the dose for the kid yet. Okay, there's a different dosage though. It's gonna come in a different vial. It's gonna be an orange top vial. It's gonna be different, okay? Because they're not gonna give them the exact dose because it's 3 times more than for adults than what the kids would get. Don't sleep and think that that's gonna make it better as far as side effects go, but I'm just giving out the information. If you do decide to give this to your child, please make sure that pharmacy has the appropriate dose for your child. Because in Texas, 2 children got the adult size, which is 3 times stronger than a parent size. Okay, and this was given. These shots were given before CDC approved vaccination for kids that age. But the FDA had already given approvals. I already know what happened. If this is what happened, the FDA gave the approval, and then because the same vial gets used for this is adult, for your first shot, your second shot, and your booster, it's the same dose. When the Pfizer, same dose, same shot, they probably assumed that it was going to be the same thing for kids. That's dangerous to even assume that. And so this is what I mean about the informed consent. It's just not there. So again, if you're going to give this to your child, please make sure they have the children's dose. It's already. My bad, y'all. I had to take this real quick correction. So I thought it was that they did the mistake for the kids at a pharmacy, which I actually feel bad for thinking that, because a pharmacy wouldn't make that mistake. So actually, in fact, it was they gave the kids the wrong dose at a Halloween event, a trunk or treat. Why the hell y'all giving vaccines at a trunk or treat? Come on now. That's what I would have never thought. I would have never thought it was anywhere but like either a hospital, doctor's office, or a pharmacy. So that was my mistake, and I wanted to clear that up. But this is how silly we giving vaccines at a trunk or treat. Wow. Bad enough that this is a risk, and then to get the wrong dose is just even, I didn't think it could be any worse, and then somebody found a way to make it even more worse, okay? So just a couple gems I wanted to drop off, what's going on, what to look out for as far as what's going on out here with all this stuff with mandates and children. And it's just, I can't even, I mean, I don't have kids, not to get personal, I don't have kids, but man, this right here is definitely, you know, I watch Young Ripper on YouTube, and Young Ripper, and he was like, this is the hill to die on. It is. You know why? It's one thing. It's like, this is my fear. I said it before. They come out with this and they say, oh, yeah, we can give it to kids. You can protect your children, okay? Yay. But then not enough people are going to do this. I know people who took this thing and they're not giving it to their children. And the U.S. will see that they spent money on these jabs because Pfizer doesn't do return policy, and the mandates will come. They already mandating it in California. My prayers are out to people in California. They're already mandating it, and that's where the problem lies. You could put 100 shots out on the shelves. I don't care. But when you tell me I'm forced to take it, that's one thing. And then now you tell me my kid is forced to take it. I don't even have children, and the rage that's going through my mind and heart just thinking about it is enough to make me go off. And I'm just keeping my emotions at bay to make this video. I can understand when people be like, I'm going to try to get through this video. That's how I feel about this. That is because they're not giving informed consent. And parents thinking they're doing the right thing are going to bring their child into more issues than anything else. I pray that it doesn't work out like that. I'd rather be hyperbolic about this one. I do. All right, guys. But anyway, thank you for coming through. You already know the drill. Like the video, share the video, comment below. And if this is your first time around, please subscribe to the video. I appreciate you guys. You guys have a good one. Bye.